today, da ba do da did. Are you catching this?
Yeah.
That do ba de da do da yeah ba de do da da ba de da do da 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 di do da. Did today about the do da little squirrel. Look at that squirrel there. Wow. I guess if I'm going to talk about how I initially got into the music, I guess it was a slow progression of listening to early Herbie Hancock records and maybe Earth, Wind and Fire, and slowly progressing into more of the different eras of the music. You know, we're talking about over 100 years of an art form. Growing up in East London, living for a large part of my youth and adult life in East London, in a community that has Asian, Jewish, African, Jamaican, just people from all different parts of the world. I always talk about, you know, if you look at that stretch from Camden town that comes all the way through to like Finsbury Park, comes to Stamford Hill, and then you go right through to Clapton and you go to Whitechapel, and you just look at that stretch of road. You got every nationality, and that was my haunt as a kid. You know, that whole area. So I think that's a kind of reflection of the melting pot and sounds that I like to stew. And I can remember back when I was in my cot singing as a little baby, actually. So it's been a long time. I mean, my mum sung a little bit. My dad was a DJ. I heard a lot of different types of music in the house growing up. Obviously reggae, because my parents are from the Caribbean, so I heard a lot of that style of music. My dad loved jazz, so I heard a lot of jazz, blues, which is probably where I got the influence from. The first jazz record I heard, wow. What would that have been? That may have been, you know, probably something like Clifford Brown, who's a fantastic trumpet player from back in the 50s, late 40s, 50s. He sadly died at a really young age. Thelonious Monk would be my entry point. Listen to his album called Green Chimneys. There you go. When I heard that album, there was an instant recognition and a cultural recognition as well, because when I hear that music from that album Green Chimneys, it reminds me of the music, like a dub music. It reminds me of the music that I heard as a young kid growing up. Most kids, they have this fascination with sound. When we're children, we're always exploring sounds, making sounds. You know, hearing sounds, trying to imitate sounds, and then we get to an age where we stop being a kid, you know, which is pretty sad. I think, you know, I think that human beings should hold on to that element of themselves, that childlike, that explorative, exploration side of your being. Wow, it was quite surprising that I got nominated for a MOBO. I don't quite know how that happened, but hey, here I am, and I'm just enjoying it. There's jungle music, there's drum and bass music, there's jazz music, there's blues, there's all different types of black music in this country that we call England. Not just grime. There's a lot of other things going on.